Welcome in, everyone. It is time to get things started. Pantheon of Pharloom. I've been waiting a while for this one, because Haka's first tournament, you know, Pantheon of Hollowness, I feel like that is one of my all-time favorites, at least in terms of, you know, the aesthetic, the maps, you know, it was just really well run. I'm stoked for this one. I think this is going to be a good tournament. We have Morfin, we have Kreuz, Fish, we have Mouse in here. Bunch of top players. We're starting off Miso versus Mouse. Wow, Miso. Immediately getting that spring. I'm the host, by the way, and I don't even think I had time to grab that spring. Alright, Mouse immediately placing that plank. Good idea, honestly, recognizing that those wires with that gap there, that's most likely going to be a spot of contention. And I think we're gonna see immediately Mouse is just gonna, yeah. Mouse is taking the right approach here, and I think Miso Miso honestly kind of got outplayed in terms of building there, because for me, you know, Miso's a very precise player, and Mouse's skill, well, obviously a precise player themselves, the skill doesn't necessarily come from that precision for the most part. So if I'm Miso, my goal is to not set up the precision right away, but to build architecture around the rest of the map so you can kind of gradually force that to be a point of contention within the map. So far, I mean, Mouse definitely having the upper hand in terms of building, but in terms of gameplay, you know, just 2 lives left. Is this black hole potentially going to be enough to slow Mouse down here? Wow, wait, whoa. That is an insane approach. Hold on, Mouse. Alright. In the final moment, Mouse making it. It stays even. But if I'm Miso looking at that, I feel like the black hole is a very clear point to attack on. So what is the approach going to be? Oh, I like the idea Mouse has there. It feels to me like Mouse has already decided, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Well, okay. Hold on. Wait. Maybe setting up for Kiata. Okay, so Mouse still forcing the same thing, but wanted to do it a different way. Wonderful building by Miso. Once we get up there, hopefully it'll all be clear, but you can kind of see, based on the last round, remember how Mouse went for that slide off from the left side? Mouse wanted to force that. Mouse recognized that Miso was advantaged with the existing black hole setup, so that spike ball over top forces Mouse's version of the setup. But by Miso placing that spike ball at the top, Miso's basically saying, you know, we can force it this way, but you're not going to be able to do it in the way that you've already practiced. And already paying off, Miso getting through, Mouse, just 2 lives left. Now, there is a trick to these. And does Mouse know them? Because, at least for me, I think I discovered this trick relatively recently. But if you use non-sprint, to like approach the black hole and then sprint right before you hit that spot, it's so much easier to do those types of jumps. So Miso going up 1-0 early on. I think this is where the match is going to become really interesting. Because it's all going to become a matter of can Mouse find a way to build out of this. Okay, both players getting a black hole. We could be entering a very volatile state. So far, nothing crazy set up in this spot. I mean, this black hole is going to be... I think it's going to be the big decider for how this round goes, but... Oh, wow! Look at the perception from Miso! I mean, he has shown his hand to Mouse, but... Even if you show the method, that's difficult. And Miso, wait a minute, Miso gets it! Hold on! Unbelievable! And Miso, first try, gets the second black hole and the third! I'm sorry, are we watching the same Miso that I'm thinking about? Miso's looking like a top player! Okay, and Miso up 2-0 already. This is gonna be difficult. I'll be honest. This is going to be a difficult. This is gonna be a difficult spot to get out of for Mouse because black holes are just so difficult to counter build. That being said, it almost looks like Miso. I see the vision. I see the vision. I mean, respects. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with Miso's gameplay so far. It feels like he's kind of just taking control of the building entirely. And beyond that, like, his recognition, like, that black hole was great for him, but as soon as Mouse went for that counter build with the girder, he was willing to just get rid of it entirely. Instantly. Okay, so now my question is, this is just, you just go over top here, right? Struggling to get that. I feel like, I don't know if you can go over from the left side. I feel like maybe you need to get like a really low jump and give yourself a bit more height to work with. A difficult set to get a setup to get a hold of. Miso, all out of lives. This is an opportunity. This setup doesn't feel so impossible. If Mouse can figure it out right here, it's definitely doable. That being said, okay, Mouse does get it, but now the question is, does Mouse have these? And Mouse does, okay? Are we seeing the beginning of a comeback? 2-1, Miso's lead slowly evaporating. Okay, I love that wire. I love that wire from Mouse. Oh, and I love, oh my god. I wish there was more time during building rounds so I could talk more in depth about how good some of these builds are. I mean, seriously, it's pretty rare that you see building at this level this early on in the tournament. Because Mouse is willing to be aggressive. Mouse is willing to try and find that volatile state to make the comeback. And on the other side of things, Miso's been doing a great job of not just building things that he's good at. Miso's doing a good job of looking at how his opponent is approaching things and being willing to change setups when it becomes necessary. So a lot of the time, you know, a lot of the time building isn't just about what you create, it's about the change, you know, paying attention. If my opponent gets something down, how can I just subtly change it? It doesn't even need to be favorable to me, I just need to interrupt their momentum. Okay, and Miso completely dominating on this spike ball. I think Mouse maybe doesn't know. But this alignment with just a little bit of AVS is totally free. Okay, now the question is, does Miso have these? Miso, no 2-block squeezes and that 3 wide, looking a little bit rough too. Okay, just 5 rounds left here. Okay, so I honestly, I'm noticing a couple blunders. I don't wanna discredit the players because so far the building has been great, but like the first build from Mouse, I feel like if you want to make a big play like that, you kind of need to do it on the second turn. So because look at this, you know, because Mouse did this on the first turn, now all of a sudden Miso gets the counter build right away. And Mouse has nothing to show for it. And on the flip side of things, if you look at Miso's wires, I think Miso's wires just force Mouse to go about it the easier way. Oh wow, wait a minute. That is so unfortunate for Miso. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. I mean, I gotta say that cannon was, in theory, that cannon was a wonderful counter build, but this is just such a subtle interaction that I feel like so few people are actually gonna know about. Well, this is exactly what Mouse wanted, right? I mean, this is a very volatile state for the match to be in. But I think it might just be a little bit too much. Oh wow, Mouse maybe just getting rid of this altogether. This is a very dynamic match. I feel like it's kind of flowing. You know, there's ebbs and flows with where the important setups in the match are placed. You know, like early on, it felt like the black hole was everything, and then all of a sudden it transitioned to the first two setups, and now it's going back. And Mouse, I mean, I guess there's no way. I guess there's no way for Miso to really force what he wants there. But that spike ball forcing a single attempt out of that black hole, that could be a huge difference maker. All right, Mouse gonna call the players challenge. All right, Miso opting out, so we can just remove. We're playing on. Good call by Mouse, I will say, because I feel like when you're already down like this, you're not as worried about just losing the game from Players Challenge, but you are worried about your opponent letting those rounds tick down. Because this is a really good state, you know, without that build from Miso. Hold on. Without that build from Miso, I feel like the map is in a volatile enough state that Mouse realistically could score and take this game back into their own hands. For those who don't know, because I'm sure there are a lot of people here who have never watched a UCA tournament, but a Players Challenge is a relatively new rule where if you feel like your opponent is stalling, if they play something that is so difficult that nobody is reasonably going to clear it, you can call a Players Challenge, in which they will have 12 attempts to try and get through it. And if they cannot get through it in 12 or, 3 rounds worth of attempts, they instantly lose the game. If they pass it, they get a point as normal and the game continues on. The rule mostly just exists as a deterrent, to keep people from placing things that are so difficult and to keep people from stalling. Okay, Mouse completely getting rid of that. To be honest, I feel like Miso would have gotten through that Players Challenge. If the barrel was challenged, I feel like he gets there. Okay, what's the play here? Miso does need to be a little bit careful. I like that tire. I like that tire, and I especially like the direction Miso decided to go with it. Because I think turning counterclockwise is going to make that so strong. Miso getting through it, no problem. Mouse struggling a little bit. 3 lives left, most likely gonna be enough, but that being said, it's looking like Miso's advantaged. Already 1 point up, just 3 rounds left. Mouse needs to find something. And again, wow, this tire working out, honestly, even better than expected for Miso here. Hold on, this is it, Mouse. One more life. One failure is all it takes to send you to the loser's bracket. Does Mouse have the timing for this? Mouse does. Still surviving. That black hole could be an issue, but it's not gonna do it. Still in this game. Okay, this needs to be a big box. I see an arrow. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Hold on! I love seeing builds like that. I feel like too many people, when they are down in points, they play so passively. I feel like when you are down, just 2 rounds left, you need to be willing to be aggressive, and I think Mouse's experience with the game is really showing here. Because if anything is going to make it possible to win in the first place, it's going to be a spike ball like that. Recognizing that, you know, Miso advantaged in that tire setup to begin with. Now we can change, not only can we change it, we can achieve our other goal of making the match as volatile as possible. Okay, both players down a life. Mouse was looking pretty good. I mean, Mouse was looking like they had a real shot of getting through it. Really unfortunate death there for Mouse, but still 2 lives, 2 chances. And Mouse gets it. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Everything lies on Miso now. A lead, which started out as 2-0 and has persisted for most of the entire game, is now looking like it's gonna be nothing. 1 life left. Miso coming close, but not gonna do it. We are heading to a tie. Just 1 round left for the uninitiated. If there is a tie by the end of the game, we go into a tiebreaker, where all items are disabled except for bombs, and the first player to touch the flag wins. Okay, Miso immediately nerfing that, but all that's really gonna do is stall the match out for a tiebreaker. I don't see a world where Miso's gonna score on anything else here. Bombing that 1x1 could be strong. Bombing the tire reinstates the squeeze. I feel like that's Miso's only good shot. I see what Miso's going for, but... Alright. This is the final moment here. Wow, Mouse opting to set up the 1 frame. That's kind of risky, is it not? Okay, so at a bare minimum, we are either going to tiebreaker or Mouse wins this. And that'll do it. Okay. Let's see it. Saved. I mean, you gotta give credit to Mouse for managing to bring that to tiebreaker, though. I honestly don't think Mouse could have played that much better. I don't think there's too much you could do that would be an improvement. Alright, let's see it. First player to touch the flag wins, no holds barred. Alright, it's looking like this is going to be a race. I don't think there's a world where neither player scores this round. It's just going to be a matter of who can do it faster. Miso, very well known for his speed runs and his challenge maps, always have a speed component. If anyone's going to be the faster player, I think it's going to be him, and Miso first tries everything. Mouse mounting a comeback, but just can't close it out. Well done to both players. I mean, what else can I say? What kind of set is that to open up the tournament? Extremely well played by Miso. Congratulations. Mouse putting on a show. Still in this tournament, by the way. There is a loser's bracket. I am sure we'll be seeing more of them. For now, I think we are waiting a moment on the next set to be available. All right, we will be back after a short break. In the meantime, All right, welcome back, everyone. We've got a special match coming up. We got Kreuz versus Shop. It has been a while, but this is a classic matchup. Absolutely, this is. For those who don't remember, I mean, Kreuz versus Shop in Ignition. What, almost a year and a half ago now. That is definitely a set to remember. I mean, especially right now, Kreuz back then, you know, he was Mr. Consistency, but he could never close it out. But nowadays, Kreuz is the reigning rank 1 player. And obviously, Shop, no slouch himself. He's just recently getting back into the game, but from what I've seen, he's every bit as good as he used to be. Shop overcame Bran early on in the bracket. But now, his biggest obstacle is here. What's the plan with that black hole? I gotta say, I like it. When you're playing against, you know, the god of precision himself, I feel like you need to be willing to make things a little bit janky. Place that black hole. And yep, Kreuz does have the perception. This is a very stunning contrast to me from the last set we watched. Because with Mouse, I mean, Mouse recognized immediately that those wires are going to be a point of precision. You know, that's just going to happen. There's no avoiding it. I shouldn't say there's no avoiding it, because Mouse very much did avoid it. But this set, I mean, both players just have no problem opting in for the precision. And I mean, you can see why. Both players effortlessly hitting that. Ooh, good call. I like that arrow. Shop's still trying to decide though. This might be stronger though with a black hole. I really like this flower. It does run a bit of a risk, though. Alright, this round, I think this is going to be a test, because Shop has been away for long enough. Does he know? Does he know how to do this setup? He does, okay. And wait a minute, I know for a fact Kreuz knows, but missing it like that, this could be a big moment for Shop. Wow. Okay, so for me, with that flower, I feel like you kind of, it almost forces you to do the precision, does it not? Like, this precision with the pull of the black hole is kind of crazy. Wait a minute, okay, Kreuz. How does that work? Is it as simple as just sliding off there? Okay, it is. Kreuz down for the count. Shop still does have a chance, but not gonna get it. The level of difficulty has just ramped up so much. I mean, compared with the previous set, I feel like both Miso and Mouse were being very measured in their approach. But Shop and Kreuz are much more mechanical players, you know, especially Kreuz. And I feel like they like making it as difficult as possible, especially Shop. When he's against a strong player, he speedruns getting the match to as volatile a state as possible. Alright, and Kreuz just opting to get rid of that black hole entirely. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Oh, wait a minute. Great idea from Shop. Alright, so far to me, it honestly feels like Also, guys, can I just call him Soup? It feels so weird. It honestly feels so weird with no accent, just switching to Schulp all of a sudden. It doesn't fit with my mother tongue. I feel like Soup has been controlling the building a lot better than Kreuz so far. That being said, this setup specifically is monstrous. I mean, it's definitely possible, but it's kind of ridiculous. The thing is, though, is like, I honestly really disagree. I really disagree with Kreutz's strategy. If you're playing against someone like Soup, he is a great player, and when it comes to his top-end skill, his ability to do the ridiculously hard setups, I feel like he is right there. I feel like there's nothing he can't do. If you're Kreuz, you know, the reigning rank 1 player, the king of consistency, I feel like your win condition doesn't come from creating something so hard that Soup can't do it. Your win condition comes from just setting up a bunch of relatively easy things and letting your consistency shine through. And like, there's two ways to look at this too, because Soup wants volatility, right? And when Kreuz places that one really difficult setup, obviously that's creating difficult volatility. But on the other side of the argument, every single round that ticks down without either player scoring is an increase in volatility. The closer you get to tiebreaker, the more likely it is that the worst player wins the set. I like that arrow build. Kreuz exceptionally good when it comes to fast positioning, and I mean, it's showing. First try on that setup. Kind of a flower, though. Okay, Kreuz, first one to get it. Now with the alignment there, precision not a problem. This is the only thing left in his way. Not gonna do it now. Soup. 2 lives to get through this. Is that enough? One more. Getting close, but this is a tough one. This is such a pivotal moment in the set. I mean, we did just come off of seeing a huge comeback just last set, but like, playing against someone like Kreuz, it is really difficult. It is really difficult to make a comeback. Running out of time, Soup. Unfortunate. Kreuz going up 1-0. Alright, Kreuz really starting to take over. I gotta say, not a bad idea from Soup, though. Not a bad idea at all. Wow! Oh my... I want an instant replay on the last second of that build, because both players, you could tell, were kind of masking their intention of what they really wanted to do. But I think Soup recognized what Kreuz actually wanted to do with that ice last minute and felt fine going for that box on the right side. That is honestly that's a pretty complicated building interaction. I feel like it's kind of hard to explain, you know, with the limited time that I have, but really good stuff from both players. Okay, Kreuz making it through. He does still need to deal with this ice. Not quite. Okay, Soup, bit by bit, getting better at that arrow setup. I haven't seen too much practice prevention coming from Kreuz here. Okay, Kreuz, again, making it through pretty effortlessly. Ice, not a problem. And you can see the pressure. You can see the pressure building up. Soup's movement's getting a little bit less confident. That timer coming up on the screen gonna make a big difference as well. Almost out of time. Soup, it's now or never. If Kreuz goes up 2-0, I feel like this becomes an unwinnable game. Soup, extremely quick, but doesn't hit the jump. Alright, just 4 rounds left. What is the play here? That conveyor has a lot of potential. If Soup is willing to use it to counterbuild to its full potential, and he is, this could be something, but I don't know. Nerfing the end of the map, is there even enough difficulty left to score? Soup taking his time deciding here. Neither player is struggling with that squeeze. Oh, wow, oh my god, what is this? I know for a fact, Kreuz... Hold on. What are we seeing? Kreuz, what is this? First try? Are you serious? The crazy thing to me is that, like, I know almost for a fact that Kreuz sees the other method of doing this. Kreuz did it the hard way intentionally so that he isn't showing Soup the better way of doing it. And even though he's doing that to mask his intentions, he still hits it. Soup now dead. Kreuz can go for it. Doesn't do it. If you go for the precision, from below that flower, it lines you up perfectly. You have a 5 block jump height, and all of a sudden, the only thing you need to get is a precision. In my eyes, that is a much easier way to do the setup. I feel like this looks... Honestly, this is almost identical. This is almost identical to a setup we saw, Fish versus Morphin in Ascension, where Morphin was doing the precision from below and Fish was doing the, trying to do the precision from the spin jump. Okay, L girder now gone. Things are changing rapidly, but I just don't see enough difficulty in this map. I don't see a way for Soup to score here. What he really needs to do is use this Wrecking Ball to nerf that precision and create as much chaos as possible. You know, Kreuz is, you know, a god among men when it comes to UCH players, but he is not without weakness. There are definitely things that he struggles with. And one of those things is chaos, and it is timings. I feel like this is a pretty common idea in UCH that I see a lot of really otherwise talented players miss out on. Because, like, most people see building as a game of trying to build things that you're good at, but I feel like more often than not, you need to be willing to play the man. You know, play against your opponent, figure out what they're good at, find their weaknesses, and attack. I feel like it's things like that that differentiate a lot of the best players from the great players. That being said, honestly, Soup doing a pretty good job here. He's made it through that precision twice, just cannot get the timing with that flower. I don't think he recognizes that there is a safe spot by just jumping up into that gap. Okay, wait, Soup gets it! Soup gets it! Still only 3 rounds left, but this could be the start of a comeback. Are we gonna see this happening twice in a row? Kreuz, the pressure is on, buddy. And yeah, finally, Kreuz opting to go for that method. Kreuz does see the safe spot above. And that safe spot is going to make the difference. You know, UCH is a game of mechanics, but it is also a game of perception. And that's an area where Kreuz is second to none. Being able to, in the heat of the moment, spot the best possible way of doing something. It makes a difference. So now, Kreuz almost entirely shutting that comeback down. It's still possible. 2 rounds left, but we're going to need to see something special from Soup. Maybe an act of divine intervention, if you will. Okay, hold on. Are we just keeping the map? Are we just keeping the map the same? I think... Honestly, that's not a bad idea, though. I will say, Soup was so advantaged last round that just running it back and hoping it plays out differently isn't the worst strategy in the world, as crazy as that sounds. Oh, hold on, is that arrow? Never mind, my bad. I did not realize that arrow was suddenly unblocked. That changes everything. Okay, Soup, all of a sudden, I think it's the pressure because this Elsaw squeeze was not giving him trouble before. Does get it, but is 2 lives enough? That's... Oh, wait, never mind, my bad. I thought that was Soup's last life. One more. We're still in this. Kreuz actually coming really close. And Soup, that's gonna do it. Kreuz takes it 2-0 over Soup. Alright, thank God. By the way, thank God I did not press that escape to trios button. I guess the mod is just bugged. That's on me. Not a bad idea, but like, I just don't see enough difficulty. If you're not going to force this difficult path, I don't see a world where you can score over Kreuz. Okay, this is a good idea. This is actually a phenomenal idea from Soup. He needs to find some way to nerf the precision, because to me, the big difficulty here, the thing that's going to trip Kreuz up more than anything, is that arrow mixed with the flower, mixed with the arsaw. So many timings at once is something that Kreuz has been known to struggle with. So if you really want to make this comeback, make everything else as easy as possible. Just focus on attacking the one thing that's you know, gonna prevent Kreuz from scoring. Soup again missing the Elsaw squeeze. Just 2 lives left. And you can really see it in his movement. Soup is nervous. I mean, who wouldn't be playing against, you know, current rank 1 Kreuz? Unanimous rank 1 player. And this might be it. Kreuz gets into the safe spot. It's just a matter of can he get this quickly, and he can. Gets the crouch. Basically nothing left standing in his way, and that's gonna do it. Kreuz 3-0. Soup is still gonna play it out. The game is over, but I mean, if you have a chance to make it a 2-0 instead of a 3-0, why not? And that'll do it. All right, we have a set ready immediately, actually. We have Lexi versus Miso. Right, Miso's in. Oh. Alright, Lexi does not have more players mount, so give us 1 second. I'll reset the lobby. Alright, what stage are we playing on here? Oh my god, are we playing on Mossy Grotto again? We actually have gotten the same stage 3 times in a row. That's ridiculous. Alright, well, let's see it. I mean, it's a good map. Wait a minute. Lexi looking out. Lexi looking out for the stream. I'm down. This is me choose. Really? I'm down. Don't get me wrong. It's just I've never been told. All right. Well, if that's the case, we are going to Bellheart because this map is gorgeous. Oh, let me Alright, now we're good. Now we're good. Let's get into it. Miso versus Lexi. To be honest, you know, we saw the set before. I was expecting this to be Mouse versus Lexi. I'm down. I want to see more of Miso. I want to see what he has to offer because based on that first set, I mean, this could be his breakout tournament, realistically. Like, he was playing so flawlessly. And 3 springs. Oh my god. Now, I feel like this match is largely going to be determined by black holes, because when I think of the skill sets of both of these players, Lexi is great at precision. Miso is also great at precision. They're both, you know, as far as things go, I'd say they're both precision specialists, but Lexi does struggle with black holes, and I feel like that's one area where Miso is, you know, phenomenal. And this black hole right at the end could be there, but nope, Lexi does have those. Notice, by the way, I feel like this was likely intentional. Placing that black hole at the very end, Lexi did know how to do it, but placing a setup like that you need to figure out near the end just makes it so much harder for your opponent to practice. If Miso can find a way to add something more to that black hole to really change it, that could be game-changing. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Those wires are insane. I like the wires. Go right in that black hole. This is definitely hard enough. This could be a scoring round, but it looks to me like both players have a good grip on how they want to approach that setup. I wouldn't be shocked at all if this team did it. Miso going a bit closer, not a bad idea. Hold on. Hold on. All you really need to do here, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, Lexi sees it. All you need to do is just go as close as you can to the black hole. There's nothing fancy. Miso seeing Lexi get there spots it as well. This black hole could be an issue. Miso was the one who placed it, but... And I mean, very, very clutch character control. Miso messing up the black hole, but still managing to get there. I honestly, I know Lexi finished with more lives, but I wouldn't say either player is advantage right now. I honestly wouldn't. Wow. Oh my god, okay. I want to see a bit more building at the start of the level here. Because I see a lot of potential. I feel like one thing that's missing from a lot of competitive play is that players aren't really great for placing non-hazardous blocks. You know, but they're good at placing things for setting up for later. Because right now, looking at this map, there's so much open space that if you want to force something competitive, force something difficult, you kind of need those tight spaces. And if you're not willing to place non-hazardous blocks to control the space, you're really limiting how much you're even able to build. Okay, Lexi has adapted, getting it on the first try. Alright, this is one of those areas where I feel like playstyle is going to matter a lot. Because one thing about Lexi, I feel like looking at Lexi and Miso, the skill at a base value isn't that far apart. I feel like Lexi, obviously, one of the best challenge mode players, one of the best party mode players, extremely mechanical, but her skill doesn't come from just her baseline capabilities. I feel like Miso can do everything that Lexi can do. What Lexi's so good at is once she has a setup down, she has it for good. She's not gonna miss it again. I was talking to Variety Bear about this because I find Lexi to be such a challenging opponent for me. You know, she has been a bracket demon for me for a while. Lexi scoring there, by the way. Lexi's been a difficult opponent for me for a while, and Variety Bear said that with Lexi, she's so good and so momentum-based that, like, if you see her successfully get a setup even one time, you need to be willing to just change it immediately. You don't even need to think about it as, like, I want to set up something that's good for me. You can set up things that are bad for you. As long as you're changing the setup so that Lexi can't just adapt to it and have it down constantly, you can't afford to let her snowball like that. So there, this hydrant is doing a great job. This hydrant is achieving exactly that. So not really sure what he wants there. Again, I feel like that 1x1 probably could have been used to set up some... There isn't a great term for it. I call it scaffolding. You know, just something that you can create other things on. Nicely done. Wow, using the spring is actually kind of genius. That makes it so much easier. Great perception. Both players waiting. I feel like they don't want to show the method yet. Okay, Lexi now has a chance. Oh wow, she's just gonna go for it like that. I see. Yep. That is absolutely the correct way to go about it. Lexi kind of dominating right now. Alright, I will retract my statements. Lexi, I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game. You are, when it comes to black holes, I was wrong. This feels largely like a gap in perception to me, because if you watch how Lexi does that setup, it's not just jumping and then timing your second jump beneath the black hole. The idea with black holes like that is that you want to jump to just the right spot where the black hole starts to pull you upwards, but not enough that it does it quickly. Because that gives you more time to react and press your second jump with the proper timing. Does Miso... Okay, Miso recognizes the mistake he made last time, gets through it in a buzzer beater, staying in this game. A 2-0 lead would have been devastating, but Miso holding on. Can I just say, buzzer beaters are probably my favorite thing in this game. I adore them. Okay, good call by Miso. Again, I think he's starting to recognize the strategy that he needs to go for too, because you can see Lexi's momentum when she gets something down. He is doing a good job now of just changing setups as they come. But one thing that's a bit troubling to me is, like, there's only really 2 setups. You know, all of the difficulty in this map right now is centralized on 2 locations. I think if you want to give yourself the tools to make a comeback, you need to be willing to place that barrel somewhere that just creates a tighter space that you can build in later. Because look at how many builds Miso has wasted because he just didn't consider doing something like that. Wow, crazy well done from Lexi. And you can see it in Miso. Look how... I feel like this is a great example of just how important pressure is in UC. Because it really isn't just a game of hitting your stuff better than your opponent does. There's so much complexity and nuance to human performance that really shows itself in this game. Watch how Miso was so good at the 2-block squeezes, and now that a little bit of pressure is starting to come up, like he's missing it so much more, and Lexi's kind of just snowballing. Not only in practicing setups, not only in getting them down, but in her confidence. If I'm playing the game, right? If I'm playing the game and I see that my opponent is struggling, I feel confident. It makes a big difference mentally. And I think that's one of the big things that tends to separate top players from you know, players in that middle range. That being said though, Miso starting to look good. If he can get through here before Lexi does, I mean, she only has 1 life left. That could... Unfortunate for Miso. Is 19 seconds enough? A buzzer beater is possible, but he needs to first try this 2-block squeeze, and he does! Hold on! Miso, you're not gonna do this to me, are you? Miso, not 2 times in a row! Just barely missing it. Miso has the right idea, but can't close it out. Still, I mean, 5 rounds. I mean, 6 rounds left if you include this one. UCH is the kind of game that ebbs and flows constantly. You know, that confidence that I was talking about, it takes not even a full turn for that to completely flip on its head. I feel like now that Lexi struggled so much to get through and she sees Miso just getting it, I feel like that's when the nerves start to hit. And wow. Wow, wow, wow. I will say, I honestly think that was a bit of a blunder by Miso. He was so advantaged. With the last round, he was so advantaged with that version of the black hole, and I feel like this version of it is a lot easier. I feel like you're kind of just giving Lex the opportunity to get back in this. When you have an advantage, you've got to press it. Okay, both players getting the 2-block squeeze first. You can honestly see Miso's confidence coming back. Okay, Lexi, and yeah, you can see with this build, like Lexi getting it first try. Any advantage that Miso had the opportunity to build up in this second half of the map is kind of just gone. Lexi can practice. Wow. Am I crazy in saying I feel like you need to wall jump there? Wall jumping from the stair block puts you onto the ground so that you can, you know, have more control. because then you can jump up instead of just getting pulled idly by the black hole. Miso not getting it. Let's see. I feel like Lexi probably gets it this round. Yep, and there it is. Lexi goes for the wall jump, makes it through. Now, again, the pressure completely onto Miso, and this begs another question. Did Miso see how Lexi attempted it? He was busy. He was playing at the start of the map. I honestly don't think he saw it. If he doesn't have the method, I think this is going to be another point for Lexi. Alright, Miso making it through, does have a chance. The timer's up, but he has all the time in the world, realistically. And again, no, doesn't see it. Lexi, 2-0. So the winner of this set is going to be playing against Morfin. Morphin currently waiting in winner semis. And on the other side of the bracket, we have Kreuz versus Fish. We're going to be streaming both of those. Okay, so this is still early enough in the game that a comeback is possible. And I will say, this is Miso we're talking about. We saw him against Mouse earlier. We saw that ridiculous comeback. But it kind of feels like he's, you know, he's really limited in what he's able to build here. This map doesn't really lend itself to his playstyle. Lexi, dying with the flower. Oh no, Miso. He's stumbling around a little bit. And yeah, I gotta say, I feel like this match, another great example of how many different ways there are to beat your opponent in UCH. It really isn't just mechanics. Miso is straight up just getting perception gap. Lexi is able to see the correct way of doing things so much faster, and beyond that, Miso is really struggling with watching Lexi as she plays. You know, if you're playing against someone with better perception than you, you need to be willing to turn on the all-player camera as much as possible. So like right now, if I'm Miso, this is a crucial moment. Because you can pay attention. First of all, does he notice that Lexi went for the squeeze, you know, from just a regular wire jump? Because that's way easier to do. And now, second of all, is he going to see how Lexi's approaching this? Lexi just barely missing it. There is enough time, and Lexi is one of the best speedrunners in the world, but it all kind of comes down to this 2-block squeeze. Can she first try it? She absolutely can. Hold on, 10 seconds on the clock. Hold on, Lexi! Just barely missing out. I feel like so many of the best buzzer beaters I've seen come from Lexi. I saw one so recently that got posted in like streams and videos or tech setups and strats or something that was straight up ridiculous. It might have been the best buzzer beater I've ever seen. Okay, Lexi has a spike ball, but how badly do you really want to change things here? Like, this is a pure Lexi advantage right now. I feel like, to me, the pivotal moment with this set was Miso placing that 3x1 beneath the black hole. Because he had such a big advantage. That hydrant, he could have recreated that setup with just placing the 3x1 plank, you know, 2 blocks lower and 1 to the left. It would have been the same, and I think that advantage that he had built up was still there. Lexi wouldn't have had the opportunity to figure out that last setup, and all of a sudden, this is a completely different game we're looking at. But that's the thing about UCH, is that one mistake in building can... Wait a minute. Does this work? Okay, Miso, I gotta say, I was waiting with bated breath because I thought that was gonna work. I really believed. Good try, but not gonna get there. Okay, Miso, far into the map, does have another shot here. Not gonna go for the postmortem again. Not a bad idea, I'll be honest with you. Also, for anyone who's watching, you know, for the first time, feel free, join the UCH Discord. We host events like this all the time. We host events for amateurs specifically so that people can avoid having to play against the pros. This game is awesome. I want to see more people into it. I honestly think UCH has the potential to be so much bigger than it is. Miso coming so close, but so far. We're heading into, what, 3 rounds remaining? 2 rounds remaining. So this, realistically, this is it. If Lexi touches the flag, the game is over. If Miso dies 4 times, the game is over. Okay, 3 bombs. Does Miso really want to get rid of that arrow? Is that the play? I honestly feel like right now, Miso is so advantaged. He needs to fix that final setup. He just can't score there. He has enough advantage that it honestly is possible for him to make it to the finish without Lexi getting there. But Miso not willing to play aggressively here. Struggling with the super jump. Lexi gets far but dies to the flower. Almost sealing the deal, but she might not have to. Miso just 2 lives left. Okay, hold on. Hold on, Miso. That black hole setup has been the problem for so long, and all of a sudden, it could be the reason he's back in this game. Lexi just needs to hit it once, and she does the clutch to put the nail in the coffin. Lexi taking it 2-0 over Miso. Well done. All right, this time I've seen your guys' requests. I will give you channel points predictions. Anyone on the YouTube, feel free to come watch on Twitch. I'll even send the link here if you want to get involved with the gambling, because I know some people love it. All right, so next we have a match up immediately. We're gonna be looking at Fish versus Kreuz. Kreuz in here. Alright, prediction is live. Kreuz versus Fish. Who do you have? And would you, oh my goodness, would you believe it? We are playing on Mossy Grotto again. The only reason we are not seeing 4 consecutive Mossy Grotto sets is because Miso and Lexi chose to go against the stage that they picked. I mean, it's no surprise, I will say, it's no surprise to me that Mossy Grotto is a crowd favorite. You know, especially for players like Kreuz who love precision. It makes sense. But I think there's some other phenomenal maps that I would love to see. Whoa, hold on. Does Fish play Snake now? Is that real? Really? Alright, I'm down. Alright. Let's get into it. Fish versus Kreuz. I feel like this is going to be the first match where things really start to heat up. Because Kreuz, the reigning rank 1 player, but notably... Hold on. Impossible name. We got there. Fish, notably, he's probably going to be ranked, you know, probably 3rd, but even potentially 2nd. He finished with an incredible season. Okay, and Kreuz, again, looking to set up that precision, but if I'm Fish, you know, Fish obviously great when it comes to precision, but I really would be looking to block those spots off, and I think he'll probably be doing the same. Fish, definitely one of the best builders in the game. When it comes to strategy, I feel like the only person, the only people I would solidly put ahead of Fish are like Kreuz, and then, you know, maybe Ember. There's another person I'd throw in there, but I gotta remain unbiased here. Kreuz going for the precision. Fish absolutely sunning him. No disrespect, Kreuz, but you're the precision guy, you know? You're kind of getting mogged here. This is do or die, you know? Kreutz's ego. And Kreuz, hold on! Hold on! I would like to apologize. I would like to put out an official statement. Kreuz, I was not familiar with your game, and that's on me. I have to do better. I have to be better. And every single person watching right now, you might be sitting there and thinking that that was just some funny little interaction. I promise you that actually mattered. That genuinely will have an impact on the set because confidence is such a big thing. If you watch your opponent make something, if you watch your opponent do something like that, that has a serious psychological effect on your ability to play the game. So shoutouts to Kreuz. Shoutouts to Kreuz. Kreuz opting to go for the spin jump from a little bit lower, not working. Fish getting this first try. I think it looks to me like Kreuz is trying to practice for a future setup. I think he plans on forcing that spin jump. So if anything, this is going to be a pretty similar game to what we saw in Kreuz versus Soup. Great build. I actually adore the moving 3x1 platform. It used to be one of my least favorite items. I couldn't see how you could possibly use it in competitive play. It's just so difficult to actually make something good. But recently, I've come around to it. Because I kind of see it now. It's not about creating a setup using the 3x1. It's more about using it to counter build. you can kind of just attach it to any setup you want and change things in such a fundamental way that it really serves as a strong counter building tool. Especially, by the way, against someone like Kreuz, who's known to struggle with consistency and confidence when it comes to moving setups, to timing, to chaos. I can't speak to how good Fish is at those things. I think he's a good player overall, and obviously he's going to be good at just about anything he does. He's a top player. But I don't know if that's his wheelhouse. Kreuz taking a lot of wires here, but I feel like... Okay, I do see one good build for them, but I will say, like, this map has a lot of wide open spaces. Oh, wow, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna hold my last thought, because what we just saw was genuinely really interesting. And I'm actually kind of surprised, and no disrespect to Kreuz in saying this, but I'm kind of surprised to see that level of building coming from Kreuz. Because if you think historically and you look back on sets that Kreuz has played against Fish, the one thing that Fish really has going for him more than anything else is his ability to predict what Kreuz is going to place and plan a build to counter it, you know, without showing his intention. He will hover his cursor on the other side of the map, and then last second he will move to the correct spot and counter build what he already knows Kreuz is going to do. This time it was kind of the reverse. Kreuz knew exactly what Fish was going to go for, and he knew that Fish wasn't going to show his intention until the last second, so Kreuz placing that wire at the very end blocks Fish from placing the arrow that he actually wanted and forces that precision. I mean, really, really strong meta building coming from Kreuz here. Question here, is this better as a super jump or is this better as a spin jump? I feel like I'm personally, yeah, Fish going for the super jump. Maybe it is an issue of you know, individual styles of player. I feel like players like me or players like Morphin would definitely go for the super jump, but... Okay, realistically, this could very well be a point. I don't see anything here that's so difficult that neither of these players couldn't get in a single one. But it is a single life. If you're gonna get scored on, like this is it. Hold on, wait a minute. Fish gets it. Does he have the squeeze? He doesn't. Kreuz, 1 life to do it, 20 seconds. Not gonna get there. But like I said earlier, this is a game of confidence. The fact that he sees Fish doing that, Kreuz, you can see, immediately rushes for the bomb. What's his plan? A lot of the time, advantage in UCH isn't the kind of thing that happens all at once. Sometimes it's built up slowly over several rounds, and like, if you, yeah, great build by Kreuz. If you want to prevent your opponent from getting the advantage necessary to score, you need to be proactive. You need to recognize the patterns and what's happening before it actually happens. Because like, Kreuz doing a great job. I wouldn't say Fish was so strongly advantaged on that setup that it was going to be a point. He made it one time and didn't get the squeeze. But Kreuz recognized that, like, maybe it's not advantaged, maybe it is, but if I let it go on for long enough, I'm leaving things up to uncertainty. And when I'm the best player in the world, do I really want that? Instead, using that bomb and then immediately blocking off the top path as well is taking control. Okay, Fish makes it. Using his mind control techniques, saying too easy. Oh, sorry, Kreuz saying too easy, my fault. And it is. He wasn't lying. Oh my god, I see what's happening next. Just... I wonder whose intention this is. Above that 3x1. Sorry, above that staircase, if you just block off that 3-block gap in the top, you force the crawl from the arrow into a precise landing in that ice, followed by spring precision. That is a ridiculously strong build, and it only takes 1 placement. Fish hiding his intention, you can tell by the fact that he's hovering. Okay, maybe he's not. Maybe Fish doesn't want it. I guess the only question then is, does Kreuz see this? Because that would be a game-winning build. If he can spot this. Okay, it looks to me, I think Kreuz sees it. I honestly think he does, but maybe he just doesn't have the confidence to ramp up the difficulty that quickly, that all at once. Wow, what a spring. Both players dying there. I'm back. Just had to do some TO things real quick. Now, if you crouch to the right of the cannon, are you safe there? Hard to tell. I feel like no. Okay, Kreuz does make it to his spot. Okay, and yeah, you can crouch underneath, fish recognizing it. I mean, there's only 15 seconds. Can you afford to play around like this? Fish makes the first jump, gets through the second. Kreuz doesn't do it, and Fish gonna go up 1-0. And honestly, I feel like Kreutz's little, song and dance there kind of backfiring on him. A lot of the time, Kreuz is one of those players where he has this weird strategy. He likes to stand in the area that his opponent needs to do something so he can block their field of view, which, maybe sounds silly or maybe sounds like it's a given, but it makes a big difference. Having somebody directly in your line of sight can completely change a setup for you. Okay, Kreuz finally sees the build and goes for it. But what's he gonna change here? I feel like blocking off the mortar kind of needs to happen. Fish looking extremely controlled here. I feel like Kreutz's advantage is completely slipping away. He does still have that ice setup, but if this is a game of confidence, given everything that's gone on, does Kreuz have the confidence to hit that right now? Okay, nice try. One thing I've noticed recently, I've honestly noticed this quite a bit, is that Kreuz more than anyone seems to struggle with confidence. Because for him, his main thing is precision. When it comes to precision, I don't think it's ridiculous to say he's just the best player. In terms of pure precision, that's just him. But as soon as Kreuz it gets his confidence shaken up even a little bit, I feel like you can kind of see his NSTs getting weaker. So often, I mean, the last time he died because he didn't let go of right before he started pressing left, which seems like it's a small thing, but I notice him making this mistake all the time. I saw it happen in a ranked set the other day against Pier. I saw it happen in a pop-up. I saw it happen in the ranked mode tournament last night. I feel like this is something that Kreuz realistically needs to work on if he wants to, reclaim his spot as #1. Because right now, this season, it's looking like it's Morfin or it's Raito. It's one of the two of them. Okay, good call by Kreuz, getting rid of that mortar. I think if anything, using a flower to completely block off this arrow is also the play. Like something needs to change drastically. It has to change now. Okay, wow. It's knocking the safe spot on that flower. Wow, Fish is just looking so clean right now. Does he have the spring precision? He doesn't. Gets the bailout, but dies to the arrow beneath. Kreuz down 2 lives though. I think if you include this round, I hope the mod isn't currently broken. I don't know if it's 2 rounds left or 3 rounds left, but either way, there's only so much time left in the game. If Kreuz wants to make this comeback, something has to change because he just doesn't look like he has it right now. Okay, and Fish getting the jump. This is another thing. I've so specifically noticed Fish getting the spring precision. He could seal the game right now. Not gonna do it. Yeah, I've noticed specifically that as soon as Kreuz gets nervous, it's not just his precision that goes away. It feels like it's almost specifically his low jump height into precision. I've seen this exact mistake so many times where it's like, look at how confidently Fish is getting that. Kreuz has kind of just been missing it. Okay, and again, Fish getting close, not quite there. Yeah, getting that precision out of a crawl is kind of ridiculous. All right, good call by both players. From Fish's perspective, you know, he's making it to that difficult part of the map every time. He's making it there consistently, so why not make it easier when he does get there? But Kreuz recognizes that Fish is going to want to build like that, so he immediately bombs earlier to disincentivize him. Kreuz getting there. Does get the precision hold on. Finally, we're going to see Kreuz has a chance at this. Not a bad attempt. Not a bad attempt. Still 2 lives. This could happen. Okay, again. Wow, okay, Kreuz regaining his composure, and it almost looks like what he regained, he stole from Fish, because Fish, all of a sudden, struggling quite a bit. Kreuz, again, missing the position. One more try. Okay, Kreuz gets the position, but that is unfortunate. I do think there's 1 round left, yeah. Okay, it's do or die. Wow. Wait. I honestly want to talk about the build. I really want to talk about that build because it's so interesting to me. It's so interesting to me. And maybe you guys aren't paying as much attention to the build, but just 1 round ago, Fish bombs the staircase and Kreuz sets it back up because Fish had the advantage of the earlier setup. In the round that followed, Kreuz regained the advantage. He was clearly doing better than Fish when it came to getting to that part of the map. So all of a sudden, even though Kreuz was the one who just bombed it, or sorry, Kreuz was the one who just placed it back, in the very next round, Kreuz bombed it. And even though he's undoing the work that he did, he's doing the exact opposite of what he initially wanted to do, it was the correct decision. It was an aggressive play, and I think, you know, last round comeback, that's exactly what you need. This could be difficult, though. I see a couple ways of doing this, and I don't know what Kreuz is going to want to go for. Okay, good. 2 lives left. Fish All he needs to do is hit it once. He can seal the deal right now. Great recognition from Fish. Okay, this is it. Fish not gonna do it. Still one life left to put the nail in the coffin, but it's looking difficult enough that I don't know if that's what we're gonna see. I think this is either we see a miracle, we see a Kreuz comeback, or we see Fish moving on to winners finals. And hold on, Kreuz using the spring to help him get down faster to avoid the arrow. Kreuz getting the precision. Are you serious? Wait a minute. This could be one of the greatest comebacks I have ever seen. Kreuz getting the spring precision, and in the final moment, he hits the clutch of his career. Kreuz, are you kidding me? I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words. I've never seen a comeback like that. I want to take a moment, but I don't think I can. I think we have to get right into this. Tiebreaker. Kreuz hit the comeback, but he still needs to seal the deal. Okay, first thing's gonna be a bomb. I imagine it has to be that R spike, right? It is worth noting, Kreuz is the Blitz champion. I'd say he's pretty decisively the best Blitz player in the world, so when it comes to a tiebreaker, I feel like his skill set is really high value. Especially in terms of... Okay, hold on. Kreuz thinks he has the R spike set up more down. I don't necessarily disagree. Let's see it. Wow, and Fish. Okay, Kreuz, first death. This is still difficult enough. Fish not necessarily going to hit it, and he doesn't. Both players down a life. Kreuz, slight lead, but I don't know that this is going to be a race. I think this is going to be a first-to-hit-it type of situation. That is insanely difficult. Stalling inside of that gap with how small the spring hitbox is tough. And Kreuz missing it. Fish as well. Both on their last life. We might be seeing a second round here. Okay, it is Fish's point to score. He does need to hit this though, which he has not yet managed to do. Kreuz, his body just kind of doing whatever. Okay, round two. I think we're gonna see that R spike gone. If I'm Kreuz, I want to bring this to a race, but at the same time, think about how dominant Fish has been when it comes to that 2 block. I feel like, if anything, bomb the spring. And if I'm Fish, what am I looking for? I think, even though Fish set up the R spike, I think bombing is just the correct play. He was so dominant earlier when it came to the 2 block jump height precision. Okay, and Kreuz recognizing it, bombing the spring. Will both players see that this is no longer precision before that? You could just jump right up. I think this is a race. Both players get it. Both players had the perception. Both of them dying right at the finish, respawning instantly. Kreuz with a slight lead. And again, both players get it first try. Fish slightly behind. Kreuz has the time to take, and he does it! He makes the comeback! Unbelievable! Kreuz takes it 2-1. I honestly think that might have been the best set I've ever seen. I'm not even lying. That might just be the best set in the history of the game. I'm at a loss for words. Take it in. You're not gonna see something like that happen for a long time. Oh my god. I mean, it's fitting, isn't it? We're most likely, assuming Morphin wins a set, this could be Morphin, Kreuz in the winners finals. But first, we have to watch Morphin versus Lexi. I say have to, but I'm excited to, honestly. I mean, this is a tough act to follow, right? If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Morphin and Lexi, but waiting a second. Morphin is in here. I think this has the potential to be a very different set. When it comes to unique skill sets in this game, I think Morphin is the most versatile player. Okay, what map are we playing on this time? Still waiting on Morphin to ban, I see. Alright, oh my god, and would you believe it? Would you believe it? We finally get to play a new match. Alright, we're in there. I'll put up the prediction. Morphin versus Lexi. I'm especially excited about this because, to me, while Morphin is... I would argue he's the best player, and I think he's the best anyone has ever been. I think that's not crazy to say. But Lexi's skill set is almost one which has a great chance of kind of countering that. She can do anything. Her top-end technical skill is so high that I don't think there's anything Morphin can do that Lexi can't. So for Morphin, this isn't going to be a game of just outskilling his opponent. This is going to be a much more long, drawn-out, you know, build advantage style of match. And I mean, you can already kind of see, with those two Wrecking Balls, Morphin is directly just trying to counter Lexi's playstyle. Both players not even showing a hint of struggling. I'd expect nothing less from these two. I'm just now realizing the names are not updated though. Give me a second. Alright, we're good now, we're good. Okay. That spike ball there is definitely going to be a huge point of contention in this set. I feel like that's the kind of... It's good for placing the kind of things that Lexi is good at. And Morphin, I assume, is going to recognize that and maybe try and build around it. Maybe place this flower to the bottom left of that spike ball. I'm not sure. He probably wants to place it around these wrecking balls, if anything. Oh, wow, wait, Morphin almost getting it first try? Okay, gets it first try. Watch the way that Morphin, like, perfectly maneuvered himself around that flower to avoid the punches, even while he's in, like, a complicated and difficult setup. First of all, are you serious? Was that actually a first try setup for him? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think this is probably already a point. Lexi can do it, don't get me wrong, Lexi is a phenomenal player, but like, wait a minute, you're kidding me. I guess that's just the kind of set we signed up for. Wow, Lexi as well! Okay, Morphin. I think this spike ball around the wrecking balls is a good idea. When you're playing against someone who's not good with chaotic things, you don't just want to place projectiles. You don't just want to place moving blocks. You want to place moving blocks and projectiles in a way where they coexist with static, you know, non-moving hazards. So that your opponent is forced to do something specific, but they're also forced to deal with the chaos around them as they do it. That kind of thing is exceptionally strong. Okay, Lexi getting some spring position in. I think strong for her, but I will say Morphin is kind of ridiculous when it comes to spring position. But I don't think that's to say that you should avoid setting it up altogether, because what can you set up against Morphin that's gonna be good? Realistically, for almost anyone in the world, it's hard. That being said, I mean, the spring precision stopped them once, stopped them twice now. Looks like Lexi was onto something. Just needs to make it through this first. She's really been struggling getting through that arrow. Okay, hold on. Morphin gets the spring precision. Ridiculous bailout, by the way. What was that? Okay, Lexi down. Only Morphin left. Morphin missing that spring precision. So still, even game. Alright, Morphin wants to nerf this spring precision, but I wonder if a bomb is the way. I almost think removing that barrel is the play. Because, like, against Lexi, it's not always best to just nerf. It's often way better to just change a setup constantly. And I feel like getting rid of that barrel takes away the wall jump. It just makes it a one frame into the spring precision. Oh, I like this. Morphin not gonna opt to do it. Wow, wait a minute. Okay. I will say, I think this is incredibly advantage towards Morphin right now. The building has kind of just been dominant. Wow. I wish I could see this without the delay. I really wish I could see this without the delay of UCH's netcode, because, like, I want to see what Morphin was going for there. Did he try and thread the needle between the two wrecking balls as they came back? Okay, again, pretty close. I see the... Wait a minute. Wait, that's actually... That is a ridiculously complex setup. I see it now. The way you do this is you get in the cannon as the wrecking balls are coming so that you can time it so that you're wall sliding on the spring as they pass back towards the right. And I promise you, with Morphin, that was intentional. Like, he didn't just place that cannon thinking there was a way to do it and he'd figure it out. I know for sure that he just knew that he could place that already. Okay, Lexi. Honestly, doing a great job. Morphin down all 4 lives. Lexi has a realistic opportunity to score here. The longer she has to figure something out, the better. She is just a super momentum-based player. Okay, hold on. Almost gets it. Doesn't get the wall jump. So Lexi's plan is jumping into the wrecking balls as they're coming back from the left. It's kind of hard to see with the desync, but that's definitely what she's going for. So there's 2 ways to go about this setup. And I honestly can't say which is better. Are we adding a 3rd wrecking ball? Is this happening? Oh, wow. Oh my god, does that really... I feel like this set... I honestly feel like this set is so difficult to commentate, because all of the things happening are such high level and so complicated that I feel like I can't explain it to most people. But what Morphin just did with that 3rd wrecking ball is ridiculous. I just want you to know that it is ridiculous. Oh, hold on. No way. But it's not just ridiculous in terms of how hard the setup is. It's ridiculous in what Morphin managed to accomplish with that build. I don't think there's another player in the world who could achieve that. Because the Wrecking Ball forces Morphin's path, as well as, like, making it harder for Lexi to do her method of, like, stalling through there. Like, that was not, I don't know, that was not a random placement. There was such clear intention behind it, and I'm shocked he managed to find that. Okay, close. This setup is kind of ridiculous, though. All things considered, this is... No matter what your strategy is, I think if it gets so difficult that you cannot score, there comes a point where it's no longer the right play, you know? Almost. Wow. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Morphin getting completely screwed over by the glue. Okay, both players taking a bomb. Surely these Wrecking Balls are gonna go. Alright, yeah. I think we're back to reality here. We're back to reality. I see a world where they can score here. Morphin's just gonna place that spike ball back, though. Lexi, you need to counter build. Do it preemptively. Morphin's coming close enough that I think you have to get rid of it. Okay, wait, not a bad idea. Hold on. Alright, let's see it. I feel like this is a round where players could make it to the finish. I really do. Is this gonna be the round that they score, though? Wow. Oh my god. Morfin's staying alive for longer than he should have, but the Wrecking Balls come for us all. Hold on. Morphin. Difficult to see with the desync, but he gets it. Only thing standing in his way is this precision, and he gets it first try, baits the flower upwards, doesn't slide low enough to avoid the hit. 2 tries left still for both of them. Lexi, how does she have this? Okay, Morphin down to his last life as well. I don't want to sound like I'm glazing Morphin too hard. Like, I know, I get that I've been talking good on him this whole time, but I think his building has just been that good. Like Lexi, such a momentum-based player. Notice how everything Morphin has been doing has been in service of preventing Lexi from getting any momentum in the first place. He's kind of done it perfectly, and he makes it! Alright, Morphin, up 1-0. Just 4 rounds to go. I mean, he's the best player in the world for a reason, but can Lexi build her way out of this? Wow, good call. Good call. Again, take note, that setup in the top left there, where Morphin just forced the wired corner jump. I don't think Morphin is particularly great at those. If I'm being honest, I think he might even be worse at them than Lexi, but the whole idea is just he needs to make it hard enough that Lexi gets to the Wrecking Balls less often. If he can deny her that practice, then he can deny her from getting the momentum in the first place. And I think Lexi recognizes that as well, you know, so immediately placing that flower back. Both players dying. That chaos is kind of ridiculous with the glue on the conveyor. Morphin going a little bit early. Lexi's starting to get a hold on this method. Hold on, wait. Just a little bit too early, but it's looking to me like Lexi's adapting. She's really starting to get there. She just has to do it quick enough, otherwise Morphin's gonna be just winning the game here. Okay, Lexi making the setup for the first time. I promise you, I feel with almost 100% certainty we're gonna see Morphin building something to change up that section. As soon as Lexi gets it for the first time, that's when things get scary. Because watch this, I feel like there's a pretty good chance, even though she struggled with the whole game, I feel like there's a good chance she gets it now. Okay, my bad. That's on me. I'll be honest, guys, that's on me. But if you think about it, she didn't actually make it to that setup to prove me wrong, you know? Morphin takes the Arsaw. That Arsaw is going straight into the top section. Yeah. Wait, what is that? Oh, I see. What a ridiculous corner jump. Okay, I guess we call it corner boost now. What a ridiculous corner boost. Alright, Morphin. Pretty effortlessly getting through, but that being said, this setup is no way. So close, yet so far. I mean, even so, if Morphin made it past that, he still has the ridiculous corner boost to get past. He's got his work cut out for him, and so does Lexi. Wow. What just... No, wait, did we just see a wrecking ball cannon cancel? In tournament? No way, what? That is so rare. I've never seen that happen in a tournament match before. But basically, there is like a very specific part of the wrecking ball hitbox, and if you get hit by that very specific, like tiny, minuscule piece of the hitbox on the exact frame that you get pushed into the cannon, you don't die from the wrecking ball. But the acceleration that you get from being pushed into the wrecking ball cancels out the momentum of the cannon. That's like one of the most rare mechanics in the game. I've genuinely never seen that in a real match. Not even outside of tournament. What was that? Alright, back to reality, 2 rounds left, Morphin's still up 1-0, I feel like Lexi's starting to gain a little bit of ground, but, I don't know, this is tough. Okay, and here's the... I'm trying to think. Is it worth? I could do such a long, detailed analysis of what's happening here and why it's so good, but I feel like it's impossible. I feel like it would take me genuinely 10 full minutes to explain what Morphin is doing and why it's so good. But this is some of the best building I've ever seen, bar none. This might be the best building I've ever seen. There's so much depth to what's happening. Morphin dying early. Lexi gets into the setup. She's shown that she can do this variant. Her real difficulty is getting in the first place, but she's just barely gonna miss. If I'm Morphin, I'm gonna start to sweat though. Honestly, only up by 1 point doesn't really feel like enough. Against a player like Lexi who has such ridiculous potential. Lexi. Alright, 1 or 2 rounds. No, yeah, 1 round left. 1 round left. This is it. We need to see a bomb here for Lexi. Lexi, get rid of the Wrecking Ball. You're not gonna see another one come up. It's time. Get rid of the Wrecking Ball and find some way to change the setup towards the end. Not gonna go for it. One thing I will say about Lexi, you know, she gets a lot of flack for her building. I think a lot of people think that she builds unoptimally, but the way I see it is just Lexi is kind of an OG player. The way that people used to play UCH involved so much less counter building and more just you create the coolest things you can and whoever manages to beat it is the winner. And I feel like Lexi is the embodiment of that in the modern age of UCH. But that being said, you know, everyone has their limits, and maybe for Lexi, this is it. That bottom Wrecking Ball, surely, maybe the top right. The top right Wrecking Ball is surely the thing to go. No way. What is this? What is this? Alright, Morphin Spike Ball, absolutely ridiculous. I honestly don't think anyone's getting through here. I think it's probably game, but these are two players you can't count out. No way. Getting through. Lexi, honestly, she has the fundamentals for this setup. No way. Morphin just patiently awaiting his death, I guess. Okay, Lexi gets there. Has an attempt at the setup, it's looking good. A little bit too early. 2 lives left. Lexi, do you have this comeback in you? Or is this Morphin's game to lose? This is it. Everything rides on this life and this life alone. Lexi wants a fair challenge. Final round, Morphin, all lives gone. Alright, and that's gonna do it. Morphin takes it 1-0 over Lexi. We're gonna be seeing him versus Kreuz in winners finals. Is that the next set we watch, or do we watch it first? Wait, was Lexi intentionally going for the Wrecking Ball cancel? If so, that's ridiculous. Getting that intentionally is one of the hardest tech skills in the game. Alright, so looking at this, let me quickly decide who we're gonna be streaming next. Because we could, I think Fish and Tornado are playing. I think we should stream winners finals. Looking at this now, I think we should. We can stream winners finals, then losers semis, and losers finals. Yeah, that's gotta be the way. Oh. I was gonna ask her to stay and be player 3. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys a secret tech. I've discovered something. I have an idea. You just need Morphin and Kreuz to get in here. Oh. Ah, yeah, we need more players lobby, of course. Alright. Alright, where's Morphin? Alright, looks like we're waiting a second on Morphin. In the meantime, we will be back. I had to take a quick break too. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. Alright, we're back. Morphin and Kreuz here. Oh my gosh, we get a new map to play on again? Let's see, adventure. We're still only in winners finals, but to me, this is the moment that the tournament really boils down to. Morphin against Kreuz. The former rank 1 versus the current rank 1. The two players, you know, aside from Raito, who are most likely to be champion in any given tournament that they enter. UCH is one of the most difficult games to dominate in that I have ever played. There are so many ways that you can lose to somebody worse than yourself if you aren't absolutely on the ball with every possible situation. And yet, these two players, more than anyone else, have managed to dominate. Kreuz last season won 8 consecutive tournaments. Morphin the season before that won 8 as well. These two players tied. The only two in history to win more than 5 in a row. So early on, I like the build with the fire hydrant and the cannon gear. This is really going to come down to how much of Kreutz's precision is he going to be able to force. Because this map really does lend itself to his playstyle, I think. If he focuses on, you know, building and attacking that bottom right section, I think we could see something big happen. Oh wow, what a build. What a build. Does Morphin ever players challenge that? Call me crazy. I feel like that's the easiest players challenge in the world. Is he not gonna opt for it? He isn't. Wow. Okay, Kreuz avoiding the nightmare situation there. But it's looking like another one's on its way because Morphin is just one placement away from setting up a curved super jump, something that he is by far the best at. Kreuz needs to get as much precision down as he can. This is not the box to do it. Okay, what is the idea with the flower here? I think Kreutz's goal is really just a counter build, but... Okay. Both players being really aggressive with their item selection here. Kreuz taking a black hole, Morphin taking glue. I mean, this is... A bomb was right there. You know, I feel like most players in that same situation go for the bomb to try and control things a bit, but going for the glue instead, I see the vision of what Morphin's trying to accomplish. Good call. Wow, wait, is this a glue coyote super jump? It's not hard forced yet, right? Wait a minute. Morfin's saying he's so dumb, but I feel like he hits this, no? Wait a minute, Kreuz hits it! Okay, Kreuz immediately setting the pace of the match. Morfin, 3 lives remaining, but to call that setup just difficult would be a vast understatement. But for a guy like Morfin, maybe a vast understatement might just be the truth. Alright. Both players hitting the glue coyote super jump. Not a common thing, by the way. I feel like even in casual games, I've seen that. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen someone place it. Wow. Really? What is that? Oh, I just... Huh? Huh? What's happening? What's going on? Alright, Morphin. We have 7 rounds remaining, correct? 7 rounds including this one. Why? What is happening? Why does Kreuz have 3 points? Like, am I going crazy? Alright, we should be good. Alright, there we are. 7 rounds left. It is still 0-0. I'm really surprised. Why doesn't Morphin want this blue Coyote Super Jump? Like, I feel like this should be the kind of thing that he's exceptional at. That being said, I mean, Kreuz looking honestly great. He hits it. Morphin, 1 life left. I think Kreuz, yeah, definitely. There's nothing left. Nothing left keeping him from scoring here. Morphin, 1 more shot. And I'll do okay. Kreuz up 1-0. Oh wow. Wow, great spring. Kreuz also getting spring precision placed down early could be huge. I mean, when you have the advantage in that midsection of the map, just preventing Morphin from getting there as often as you can. Wow. And just like that, the setup is completely changed. Kreuz! Beautiful build. Beautiful, beautiful build. Now, all of a sudden, it's possible to use the spring to pinch yourself between the hockey. The hockey and the spring, and that'll launch you up. You no longer need to do it as precision. That should work well with the black hole. We'll see how well. Wait, neither player going for it. Really? Did they not see? I think Kreuz does. Yep. Kreuz sees it. Just barely not gonna get it though. I think it might just be harder than it lets on. That setup is kind of ridiculous. And it's not the kind of thing that you can practice either. This is something you need to figure out on the fly, and Kreuz is exactly the kind of player to do it. Morphin also following just behind. Let's do the arrow in the flower. Kreuz! And just like that, Kreuz seemingly throwing away his advantage. Still has the opportunity to get it here. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Kreuz. Slight pull from the black hole, making things weird. And Kreuz gets through. Right when he needed it the most, he holds on with his final life. That being said, though, if I'm Morphin, I see a good angle of attack here, and yeah, that Elsa definitely going to accomplish it, making it a bit more awkward getting into that spot with the black hole, and just adding one more thing you need to be considering. Getting that jump towards the arrow. Close call, Morphin going a little bit too early. That flower punch getting him. Okay, makes it through, but the arrow. What is this setup? Oh my god. It is ridiculous, but against someone like Kreuz, ridiculous is exactly what you need. Kreuz still alive, by the way, just taking his time to watch Morphin, getting as much info as he can. Okay, now Kreutz's turn, has an opportunity. But this setup is not what we saw last round. This is significantly harder. Kreuz not getting it. I will say, if I'm Morphin, I feel like there's some very valuable information there. Just looking at the way that Kreuz struggled there, it feels to me like a profound lack of confidence in a way that feels exploitable or attackable. And Morphin, is he gonna block off? If he blocks off that arrow, I almost feel like it's entirely the right play, but not gonna opt for it. Kreuz bombing the black hole instead. But hold on, it's coming right back. effortlessly getting through the spring precision. This is a really difficult setup, by the way. Right now, the scoreboard is blocking it because it's right at the top of the screen, but you need to pay so much attention to the timing of the arrow for this to be possible. Like, there are so many different cycles working together at the same time, and you need to find, you need to be able to look through the matrix and find exactly the moment where all of them line up. But hold on, it's looking like Morphin can do just that, just barely. Does make it out, but dies to the wires after. 1 life left. Kreuz getting pretty close himself. To me, I feel like this is almost exclusively going to come down to who can figure this one out first. Who can find that timing? Morphin just missing it. Both of them have bombs. Kreuz, yeah, I mean, bombing the black hole kind of just has to be the play. That's the one thing where the advantage is just too much. But it could work against him, could it not? I feel like that entire section is still so advantage towards Morphin that, like... Okay, both players taking bombs again. What goes next? If Morphin really wanted to, I mean, bombing the spring kind of forces... No way. No way, right? Okay, I was gonna say. Alright, this feels like a scoring round to me. It's very realistic that both players score now. Hold on. Morphin able to keep his composure here. He makes it. Kreuz does still have 3 lives, but when you've seen your opponent make the finish, that's when the pressure can get the better of you. Good bailout, Kreuz. And he makes it. Alright, just 2 rounds left. Morphin slightly advantaged, but Kreuz does have that point lead. I see the play. Not a bad idea. Morphin trying to do everything that he can to take advantage of Kreuz's weaknesses. Anytime he sees Kreuz stumble even a little bit, if he sees the slightest misstep, he goes for it. And wait a minute, Morphin getting the Wrecking Ball! The single best item he possibly could have gotten right now. If anything is going to make this comeback possible, that's it. Opting for a bit more precision. For a minute there, it was looking like Morphin was completely taken out of it, but he's gotten his steam back. This movement is looking like, the Morphin we're used to. Both players missing out, timing a little bit too much. Rough death. Hold on. Alright, Kreuz now 3 lives, a real opportunity at scoring. He came just as close as Morphin did. And that's gonna do it. Almost certainly. Kreuz taking it over Morphin. So now, Kreuz gonna be waiting a while in Grand Finals. Morphin also waiting a while for Losers Finals here. Do we have any matches available, or are we gonna have to wait a little bit? Let's see. Alright, so we are going to be heading for a short break. I think probably around 15 minutes until the next set is available. So we will be back with more Pantheon of Pharloom. All right, welcome back. We are here. We got Tornado. Tornado, who, by the way, just got a huge upset victory over Fish. Now playing against Lexi, who made it over Master XD. Predictions are live. Let's get it started. Playing on Venture again. I'm down. Tornado just taking a little... Alright, Tornado says he needs a minute. I think this match is... Both of these players like the same things, and they honestly play pretty similarly. And in my experience, when you see two players who like the same types of things playing against each other, you kind of just get to see the best of both of them, you know? I think we're going to be seeing a lot of precision. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of complex and you know, difficult fast setups. Oh, Lexi's completely right. I need to turn this on. I'm excited to see. Tornado has been on the come up lately. You know, he's probably more than almost anyone else. He's been grinding. I think he's been in the UCH community just under, maybe even over a year now. And in that time, I mean, he's already ascended to, you know, arguably being a top 10 player. Okay, Lexi immediately getting a spring. Another thing about matchups like this, though, is that it's hard to find an advantage. You know, when you both of you like the same kind of things, what do you place? It kind of just becomes a battle of trying to outskill your opponent entirely. Oh, I see Lexi's plan. That's rare. Hopefully we see it actually getting set up, though. I don't know. I think not. Okay, both of them have wires. Is there much you can do? Is there much you can do here? Not a bad idea by Toe. I don't think there's anything super strong beyond that, though. Okay, Lexi's setting up for a potential super jump. We'll see if that gets set up later. Tornado trying to get a little bit of practice there. Not a bad idea. I feel like Lexi's clearly showing that she wants to set up that super jump. I feel like if she does, you should be ready for it, for sure. Get as much practice. You know, on the first round, I think it's a really underutilized thing. Because A, you can get a lot of practice, and B, you can spend your time looking around the map just trying to envision good placements that you can make in the future. If you prep yourself for that kind of stuff, your building is just going to be so much better. Both players again, effortlessly making it through. This feels to me like a map where you can't just create difficulty out of thin air. Like, you can't just pick wires and make the map hard. You kind of need to place other things in conjunction with it. There just aren't great spaces for it. Okay, Tornado wants nothing to do with that spring. I mean, against a dynamic player like Lexi, maybe not the worst idea. Okay, big potential here for a corner boost in that top right setup. I think Tornado's going to build against it, but we'll see. I don't know. Tornado should be amazing at corner boosts, at least from what I've seen. Tough to find anything. Okay, wow, strong arrow by Lexi. Tornado placing that flower to get rid of the initial arrow. I think Lexi recognizing that that's what he was gonna do. Was ready in the end and gets it placed. But hold on, wait a minute. Lexi getting some pretty, no offense, but some pretty silly deaths here. Two deaths to that setup. Now's her opportunity though. Tornado already died to the arrow the first time. He's shown he is struggling. Does Lexi have what he does not? She does, okay. But Tornado himself making it no problem. Rounds in. Wow, I'm surprised we're seeing only non-hazardous blocks when nobody's dying, really. Good call by Lexi. first life down. Tornado going for that wire. Oh my god, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. This is essentially what we were looking to see last game with Kreuz versus Morfin, but it never panned out. 2 consecutive wired corner jumps. I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. This is ridiculous. This feels to me like the kind of thing that maybe you'd see Variety Bear do. I could see Variety Bear hitting this in tournament. But I don't know. This is just kind of ridiculous, no? Honestly, not a bad approach on that, but not gonna get there. Still, even heading into round 5. Okay, Tornado, not a bad idea. I think a wired corner jump in of itself is not a bad idea. But placing that box makes it so there's just one. It's more realistic to score on. That being said, Lexi placing the barrel to just get rid of it entirely. I think we're going to be seeing the curve precision here. Surely? Oh, wow. Wow, what a build by Tornado, and Lexi has nothing she can do to counter it. Okay. This round could be interesting. Does Tornado have this first try? He does. Does he have the Kiata? He does. First try. Lexi as well. Tough act to follow up, but if anyone's gonna do it, not gonna get there. I think Lexi sees the method. If you do a drop down, and slide on the wall a little bit, you can do a quick jump over instead. Should be easier. Does she want to show Tornado that? She gets there. Yeah, not willing to take any risks. Not a bad idea. Keeping the score still 0-0. Both players really just not missing. Okay, does this spring have much? Oh my god, really? Oh my goodness. That is a crazy spring. And the worst part is, I actually feel like that could be done. I think Tornado's gonna build against it though. There's no way he's willing to set something that volatile up. Wow. Wow! Okay, the way that these two are ramping up the difficulty feels insane. I wouldn't be surprised if this just goes to tiebreaker. This is crazy. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? Unfortunate jump play by Lexi. I will say, it looks like Lexi's making a lot of random mistakes here and there that Tornado just kind of isn't. You know, anything difficult that they set up, Tornado by default gets more attempts at it. But that being said, Lexi coming so close. Again, another really unfortunate death. I wonder what's going on. Wow, that is that is an insane perception from Tornado, but I don't think that's gonna pan out. Oh, not a bad build. I will say, me personally, I don't want that box there because I think the spring setup is just so cool, but I understand not wanting it there. Wow. Oh my god, Lexi. Now, how does... Is that just a corner boost? I think it is. Wait, actually, wonderful building by Tornado. Forcing that corner boost? Surely you can't do that with the spring anymore. Oh, wait, Tornado doesn't see the corner boost. He's still trying to do it. He's still trying to do it just from the half block. Alright, this could very well be a game of perception. I mean, we saw earlier Miso against Lexi. Lexi kind of just won by having better perception. Is she going to see the same thing here? Yeah, okay, Tornado sees it. Tornado definitely sees it. And I believe both of them do. Tornado going for it. I don't know if the alignment is the approach, though. Lexi's still going for the spring, interestingly enough. The thing about this corner boost is that you can't use the alignment where you just stand one block back and then non-sprint and do a one-frame jump. It doesn't work. You need enough momentum going into the corner boost that you can clear that spike ball and avoid the spring. Good perception by Tornado. For Lexi, this is an adapt or die situation. I mean, Tornado has the right idea 100%. I think Lexi finally starting to recognize it as well. Tornado out of lives. Oh my god. And Lexi gets a partial corner boost, but just not enough to get there. That setup is ridiculous, though. I gotta say. That doesn't feel like it's in the realm of something a human's gonna do. Not today. Alright, yeah, Lexi doesn't want anything to do with it. And there's no bombs, so that nerf will stand. Unless, looks like Tornado might have some crazy ideas here, but what even do you build? I'm down. I like that spike ball. I like that spike ball a lot. Okay, now my question, I feel like Lexi might be just making this too difficult. I understand that Lexi is a player who can do anything. That is not lost on me. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Doing that from the wall jump makes more sense. It's not as bad as I thought. It's not as bad as I thought. Lexi missing that half block. That half block is ridiculous. Tornado coming close. Getting that half block out of the wall jump over the spike ball is just, it's so much harder. It's so much harder because normally you can use non-sprint to you know, make that kind of precision easier, but like, if you use non-sprint, you die to the spike ball. Alright, Lexi, all out of lives, Tornado, 2 left. He does have an opportunity, but I gotta say, he's got his work cut out for him. I just don't know. Now, 1 life. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to make it through this abomination almost. Like, what is this? Tornado opting for a bomb. I feel like it might honestly be worth it to nerf that setup at the end and then bomb that barrel. Force the curve precision. Lexi, gutting the setup that she created. I do appreciate the willingness to go back on something that you have built, though. You know, I feel like too often people are stubborn. They build something, and because they built it, they feel like they have to keep it. Again, really close, just cannot find that angle. Tornado, too. I think both of them, if they held left for a single frame longer, they would have had it. Lexi overshooting here. Tornado gets it, but isn't ready for timing it with the mortar. Freaks out a little bit. This is the second last round. After this, we have just 1 left. Still, it's a tie. But it feels like at any moment, either player could just hit that half block 1 time, and that's really all it takes. Tornado moving with confidence. Lexi, a little too early on the Gata jump, is gonna... Tornado as well. Okay, final round. What's the play here? Tornado's still looking to make the map harder, which feels feels crazy to me. I understand wanting a tiebreaker, but it's just so volatile. Both Lexi and Tornado are like some of the best speedrunners in the game. Do you really want a tiebreaker? Tornado says yes, I do. Oh wow, okay, good build. I like the spike ball. Again, and every time, I've yet to see Lexi die from going too far to the left. I feel like that says to me that she is not adapting enough. You know, she's not compensating correctly. And Tornado gets it. Hold on, Tornado! Is this gonna be the point that seals the deal? Lexi follows up as well! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No way. After an entire game of struggling, neither player managing to score, on the last round, we get the map to the hardest state it's been in, and both of them nail it. What kind of game is this? Alright, well, we're going to tiebreaker. For those who don't know, tiebreaker rule set, only bombs are enabled. The first player to make it to the finish wins the game. No exceptions. Let's get into it. Now, given that they have bombs, what is the plan here? What is the plan here? Do we want to make it easier? Do we want to make it harder? Okay, Lexi opting to make it easier. This is looking like it's going to be a race to the finish. This is the moment of truth. Both of them going fast. Tornado now with a clear lead, but dies to the spike ball. Lets his haste get the better of him. Lexi, slight lead, but not enough to feel confident. Still hitting this is going to be the deciding factor. Both Tornado and Lexi missing it. Fortunate death, Lexi onto her last life. Tornado has 2. He can afford to breathe a little bit, but how comfortable can you feel with Lexi right behind you? Tornado getting the jump. All he needs to do to seal the deal is get through here, and he does it! Tornado is moving on to losers finals, a guaranteed top 3 finish in this tournament. What a performance! So next up, we've got Tornado against Morphin. We have to move to more players. Absolutely incredible. You know, I was expecting a tiebreaker. I was expecting that match to go to tiebreaker, but I didn't expect it to happen like that. Both players scoring? Really? Alright, we're waiting just a moment for Tornado and Morphin to do stage ban, so I will take a second. I will be right back. All right, we are back. Quickly, I'll set up predictions for you guys. Just give me a second. Oh. All right, predictions live. Morphin versus Tornado. This is the losers final, so we have just one set after this. And a reminder to everyone, we got a big announcement coming right before Grand Finals. So stick around if you want to see something. I think it's one of the biggest announcements in the history of this game. I'll say it. But for now, we have more important things to focus on. We got Morphin against Tornado. I gotta say, Morphin not opting to take the Ferris wheel is a shocker to me. It really is. But maybe it was for the best. I see the vision. This conveyor has a lot of potential, but what's he gonna do with it? Okay, Tornado setting up the corner boost. The question is, does Morphin know the alignment? Oh my god, wait a minute. Does Tornado have those? Because otherwise I think Morphin might have just earned himself a point just round one already. A curved super jump? Oh my god, wait, Tornado has those. Tornado has those. Both players losing their first life, but looking, I mean, really good, both of them. They have the right approach for sure. Morphin. Okay, wait a minute. No matter how good you are to set up like this, it's still volatile enough that in the heat of the moment in a tournament, both of them hitting it. Now the only thing left is that corner boost. It is far from easy. Even with the alignment, this is extremely difficult. Morphin coming close. The thing about corner boost is that you need to commit. Like, if you don't have a good sense of when you are or aren't hitting the corner boost, you don't know when to commit, and a lot of the time you'll commit like that, like Morphin just did there. You'll commit when you don't actually have the corner boost, so all of a sudden, Tornado primed in a great position to score round one. Morphin clutching the super jump. He's gonna get another shot at this corner boost. Okay, wait a minute, immediately. This is flipping the match on its head. Tornado missing. Okay, Tornado hitting the super jump. Perfect, wow. Okay, and Morphin goes down. Tornado just 10 seconds left to get this, and just barely he misses. If he turned around a little bit sooner, he would have had it. But we're going into round two. 0 points apiece. Okay, now if I'm Morphin, I'm terrified. That corner boost is not doing me any favors, you know? Yeah, and Morphin gonna get rid of it. Definitely the right move. Tornado could set it back up. And in fact, Tornado could set it up in a way that would be easier for him to hit. Does he see? What's the plan? Alright, Tornado doesn't want to set the corner boost up again. Maybe he doesn't want to subject himself to that level of volatility, but I feel like against the best player in the world, you kind of have to be willing to. Oh wow, I love that. I love that stall to avoid the punch from the flower. Okay, Morphin getting through cleanly. Tornado does have 4 lives, but like this is far from free. All right, that arrow from Morphin was a phenomenal build. I feel like this flower is just giving Tornado so much trouble. And Morphin gets through. The pressure is on. Tornado, not a bad idea. Using, baiting the flower out before you go up. But I feel like Morphin's method is just the way. Okay, last life. Is Morphin going up 1-0? The crazy thing is, I don't think either player sees you can just use a quick jump to vault over the spike ball. Surely the best way, but I mean, it's not the easy, you know, in the heat of the moment, when everything matters in tournament, it's hard to spot things like that. It really is. Oh my goodness. Tornado, you can't be serious, can you? This, oh my god. Okay, wait, actually not a bad idea. Morphin immediately forcing a Terry jump instead of the super. I like the idea there, because we all know Morphin's insane at super jumps. You know, that's what he's known for. But when it comes to something like this, I feel like it's kind of volatile. With that arrow having the super jump, something like the Terry jump still favors you, but it at least gives you a bit more control in how you approach it. It's kind of difficult though. You need to like time your jump so that you're right beneath the spike ball as the arrow passes. So you can. That's hard. That is really hard. But for Morphin, not a problem. Tornado has 2 lives to make this. I think Morphin. Oh, you know what? No. He still has to get this. He still has to get this corner boost. Gets it, but doesn't commit. Oh, wow, and Morphin hits it all! 2-0! I mean, what a run by Tornado, but at the end of the day, when Morphin is on the screen, you just don't get wins. You don't get wins the same way you can against any other player. You have to work for it in such a profoundly different way. Beautiful spike ball by Morphin, by the way. Using that spike ball compared with the glue, wow. I don't even know if Tornado sees it yet, but he's gonna be in a bit of trouble here. I feel like the way Morphin is building, he's setting up complex setups after a point which Tornado is not able to get. So Morphin's strategy is getting advantage through, you know, getting a gap in practice. He doesn't need to score, he just needs to get so good at everything that Tornado can't catch up. That being said, wait a minute, Tornado finally hits that. Now that the Terry jump is gone, it's definitely a lot easier. Morphin making it through as well. Oh. Okay, now, wait, Tornado! Not gonna make it through that corner boost. Morphin, okay, wait, this actually could be it. Morphin has already made it through this setup. He did it just last round. Is he gonna end this 3-0? Just barely. Morphin gets the semi-corner boost. Not enough height. This feels like a very volatile round. Morphin, only 1 life left. Realistically, Tornado could score here. You know, this could be either the end of the game or the start of the comeback, and until time passes, we have no way of knowing. Okay, but we just got the best hint we've got yet. Tornado gets the corner boost, gets the jump, and the post-mortem is good enough. Okay, so Tornado still in this, just 1 point behind. Morphin needs to find something somewhere that can keep Tornado out of this. Oh wow, okay, I mean, just introducing more complexity and adding to the chaos against a player like Tornado is for sure the right play. And I think, yeah, Morphin really looking to lean on that strategy, placing the tire as well. What is the counter, Tornado? Oh man, is that a force tooth right now? Oh, and wait, what happens at the end? Is that a force? Is that actually a force post-mortem? I think it is. Okay, that is hard now. I almost wonder if the play, because before you were using the glue to give yourself an easier jump height, I almost wonder if the play is to wait for the mortar to come around and then use that to push you off the wall. I don't know, having the timing line up might just be too hard. We'll see. Okay, Morphin makes it. And the ending here is a little bit easier now that corner boost is gone. Morphin needs the 2-frame. He gets it. All he needs is this forced post-mortem, and he gets it. The pressure is on Tornado. It is do or die. Hit this, or your tournament run is over. 2 lives left. Coming close, the timer's up. I think it's just barely enough time to get through this, but I don't know if the cycles are going to line up for Tornado here. He makes it 11 seconds. We've seen a lot of buzzer beaters, but this would be the one to end it all. And that's going to do it. Morphin, 3-1 over Tornado. I mean, credit where credit is due. You know, amazing run by Tornado. It's definitely been a long time coming, but all good things must come to an end, because we got Morphin against Kreuz. It's time for the grand finals. Just waiting a second here. As soon as we have both players in, we can get started with the announcement. You know what? We got a moment. We got a moment, I guess. Let's do it now. I have something very exciting to announce. This is the first of many exciting announcements, but I think this might just be the biggest. Let's watch. You heard it here first. Distortion, April 4th, 2026 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most likely, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think it's going to be the biggest event the community has ever seen. And with that, registration is live. Head over to the UCH Discord. Oh, hold on. Registration should be live, but the channel doesn't want to work. Well, in the meantime, already we have pre-registrations. We've got Morfin, we've got Raito, we've got Kreuz, we've got Malena, Fish, Japausia, Ember, Mouse, Lexi, Evan XO, Master XZ, Soup, KX, Flop. Every single top player you can think of is in it. As soon as this tournament is over, registration will be live. If you're interested in joining, join the competitive UCH Discord. This event will feature beginner, intermediate, and amateur brackets with prizing for every tier of player. So if you want to dip your toes into the game, but you're worried about playing against people who are too good, this is the time to try it out. Distortion. I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys are too. But for now, it is time to get going with grand finals. The moment we've all been waiting for, Morphin versus Kreuz. The two best players in the world right now, as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to be playing on Venture again, okay? Alright, we're good. Let's get it started. Actually, I lied. Now we get it started. Good luck, have fun. Predictions live. Alright, so we've already seen the two of them play on this map. It could be a very similar set, but I feel like with players like these, you know, when you get to this level, you have to let what happened in the previous set inform your decisions going forward. I don't see a world where Morphin allows this to be played out in the the bottom right corner. I just don't see it happening. Morphin gonna be opting for a cannon here. Notice too, Morphin looking to place all of his builds in the second half of the map, and Kreuz setting the squeeze back up. We might be getting a repeat of the last game. We'll see. Morphin a little bit too high on that jump. I think yeah, Kreuz gonna go for the wall jump instead. Yep, Morphin gets it. Kreuz down to 2 lives left. I feel like Kreuz being the player that he is, I don't see him getting scored on here, but I've seen worse. As soon as you see your opponent make it one time, things get scary, but not for Kreuz, staying 0-0. Of course, in the grand finals, we get the nuke bug. Looks like Kreuz. Alright, looks like neither player wants it. Nuke bug could honestly really change the outcome of this match, though. Wow, Kreuz really just setting up the exact same things as last round. Alright, Morphin, what is he practicing there? Got the Terry jump. Absolutely difficult enough. I mean, Terry jump is just such a volatile thing. Kreuz, not their own first try. Yeah, honestly, both of them are playing it a little bit too safe. The thing with Terry jumps is that you just need to be willing to commit. And when you're in tournament and you're worried about dying, it's very rare that people actually are willing to commit. Morphin gets it. First try right in Kreuz's face. Kreuz down to 1 life. This could genuinely be a point. Only needs 1 Terry jump. Kreuz going for the super jump instead. You can see the nerves. Oh my goodness, Kreuz is terrified. Super jump might just be the play, but hold on, 1 life left. Timer's gonna be coming up within 10 seconds, I think. Yep, there it is. Okay, and Morphin going up 1-0. This could be a very different game because all of a sudden, when Morphin has the early lead, you have to outbuild him to win. You know, but before Kreuz gets the early lead, and I think that gives you a lot of power when it comes to what you can do with building. Alright, I have to remove both. Hold on. Crazy bug with him on there. Alright, so we are 7 rounds left. That includes this one, right? Or no, this is... So we have 8 rounds left. 8 rounds left. Morphin still up by 1. It wouldn't be ECH tournament without at least a little bit of jank here and there. No build, and then we're good to go. Morphin's still up 1-0. Oops. What's Kreuz doing here? Alright. Oh wow, wait, what is that spike ball? That is insane. You kind of have to go for the wall jump, no? Oh my, Kreuz hits the half block first try? What is that? Is Morphin's lead just gonna disappear? Oh, he wouldn't be the best player in the world if he couldn't hit clutches like that. Unbelievable. Morphin retains the lead. This to me already feels like a much better set than the first time around. I feel like we're seeing both of these players at their best. Ooh, okay, Morphin opting to set up another cannon here. Cannon baits are just so strong. I think cannons are one of the most interesting and versatile items in the game. Just what you can do with them. There isn't really much of a limit. Alright, so real quick, again. Oh my god, and Kreuz hits the half block first try! What is this? He cannot miss! No way. No way. They're making this look like child's play. This feels like a completely different level beyond anything that we've seen from anyone else today. I feel like this map already would be difficult enough that any other player probably isn't scoring, but they're doing it first try every time. What is this? Okay, Morphin with the spring. Is he gonna go for a cannon cancel is the question. I think realistically a cannon cancel's the best chance Morphin has for turning this setup in his favor. Wow, that... Okay, I actually don't know how that cannon cancel works. If you get the bounce off the spring, but from the top? Okay, Kreuz, for the first time so far this set, looking like a mortal. Man, doesn't hit the half block on his first try. Morphin really taking his time to think about that cannon. To me, I think this is going to come down to perception. Wow, what? Insanely unfortunate choke from Morphin. Still 3 lives left. He's done it once, he can do it again, but he's giving Kreuz the blueprint. Kreuz opting not to go for it and hits it anyways. Okay, Morphin down to his last life. He's done it before. He can do it again, but if he doesn't hit this, Kreuz is bringing it back and tying up the game. Pressure's on. And he doesn't hit the timing. Kreuz. It's now 1-1. I think now the question is gonna become, does that tilt Morphin Because again, UCH, it really is a mental game, and having something like that happen to you, it can take the steam away. I think right now what Morphin needs more than anything is some projectiles. Okay, Morphin opting to get rid of it altogether. I think seeing how everything went down, he wants a different angle of attack here, because Kreuz has been so good in his building so far. And I feel like that cannon set is no longer the best path forward. This shouldn't be easy enough for anyone to score. That being said, Morphin not making the same mistake twice. Does he have the key out of jump? He does. Again, unfortunate nuke bug. One of my least favorite things with the game, because that nuke means that they're not getting a dynamite in place of it. Okay, interesting build by Morphin. Okay, there it is, the Wrecking Ball. This is, I would argue, this is Morph's single strongest item in almost any matchup, but especially in this one. Wrecking Ball, a very powerful item. I would argue the strongest timing-based item outside of Ferris wheels. Great build. Okay, and we're forcing the, I don't even know what we call this, the fake carry? Morphin first try. I know for a fact he has those practiced. Kreuz as well, right behind. It's gonna be no point scored again. The time is ticking. Either we see something big happen soon, or we're gonna get a tiebreaker. 3 rounds left. What is the plan? And the tire comes out. Oh my god, what is this? I see the vision, but that's kind of crazy. Kreuz not quite able to force the acquired corner jump. Okay, and again, Morphin getting it first try. Does Kreuz have it? Can't follow up. Okay, this is gonna be a waiting game, I think, because this, wow, the Wrecking Ball gets you even in there. Oh my gosh. Okay, both down to life. Wow, both players, honestly, not missing the fake carry very often. Like, that is a hard tech, by the way, in case it wasn't clear. It only looks easy because of the 2 players we are watching on screen right now. This is so evenly matched. Morphin, first one to get it. Kreuz, only 2 lives left. That being said, it could be enough. He needs to hit it here. While Morphin's taking this lead right back. Kreuz gets it. Only thing standing in his way is this Kiata jump, something he's known to be good at, and he stays in this. I can't say. I honestly don't know who has advantage right now. It feels so dead even. Okay, but Morphin getting a black hole. This could be a huge turning point. No way. What? Actually incredible building. Morphin hovering that black hole. Morphin hovering his intention to show that he's intending to place the black hole wraparound, but instead he places it upwards. He just wanted to force Kreuz to waste his wires. Because if Kreuz doesn't immediately respond by placing that wire, then Morphin gets a hugely advantageous setup. That was a perfect display of meta building right there. Morphin gaining advantage through feigning intention. Okay. Difficult. Either a corner wire jump into the squeeze, or I feel like you can just do the coyote and get it. Yeah, you definitely can. Neither player opting to, though. Okay, Morphin tries, just barely misses. Kreuz too. This is hard. So Morphin did manage to get his advantage, but I mean, Kreutz's setup is so difficult that it might... Hold on. This is the exact same thing. The exact same thing we saw earlier, Miso versus Mouse, where a cannon shooting into the seam between two blocks. It stops your momentum. I don't know about that. Kreuz making that jump easier, but like everything that comes after is so advantageous for Morphin. And it looks to me right now, it looks like Morphin is playing for the tiebreaker. He's just making the map as hard as he possibly can so that like when the tiebreaker comes, he can still control the difficulty by bombing things to make it difficult, if that makes sense. It gives a lot of control when it comes to building. Hold on, Morphin. Really unfortunate death. Only 2 lives left. Only 1 life left. Kreuz has quite the hurdle in front of him, but a player like Kreuz is exactly the kind of player who can get it done. Hold on, Morphin giving the early GG. He feels like it's over. But he himself makes it. Can he find the timing? That is the question. And he can't. Kreuz, in the final moment, goes up 2-1. Is that it? Was that the final round? It was! Kreuz is your Pantheon of Pharloom champion. After an incredibly dominant season these last 6 months, it looked like Kreuz was struggling for a little bit. But he's back. I gotta say, this is the most exciting season of UCH that I have ever experienced, because right now, I would argue that Raito's in the lead. I think Raito is the current favorite to be rank 1. But Morphin has multiple second places and a first place. Kreuz as well. Like, this is gearing up to be the biggest race to rank 1 that we've ever seen. Congratulations to Kreuz. I mean, winning a tournament feels great, but winning a tournament like that? That's something special. This tournament as a whole, you know, shoutouts to Hackacat. This is honestly one of the best tournaments I've ever seen. I think this is probably my single favorite tournament to spectate. This has been insane. Thank you to everyone who showed up. If this kind of stuff interests you, we do host tournaments all the time, every weekend, and now we host weekly tournaments every Thursday. We've got ranked mode, we've got building contests. You know, this is the best time we've ever had to join UCH. So if you think this is something that interests you, join the competitive UCH Discord. I'm sending the link now. Anyways, with that, I will be signing off. Thank you so much to everyone, and don't forget, registration will be live momentarily. Distortion, $1,000 prize pool, April 4th, 2 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.